Yo, welcome back to a video here on the second channel. Today we're going to be looking at a really cool new thing that Pokemon is going to be releasing later called the Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic. This will allow you to play with some of the old cards from base set, and basically it's meant to be a timeless experience. Of course, it does feature the Kanto starters, Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise, but the cool thing is, too, there's also going to be brand new EX Pokemon. Yeah, you heard right. There's going to be EXs in this set. We are going to be looking at Suicune EX, Lugia EX, and there's also a Ho-Oh EX, but there's also some really cool new item cards here that do synergize with the Kanto starter Pokemon. Now, there are some really cool things to talk about here. A new premium box called Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic will release in late 2023 in English and in October 2023 in Japan. I guess we're maybe looking at like a Christmas time release, maybe. I guess it makes sense to kind of line that up. And it was revealed during today's Pokemon Direct. The product will contain 3 60-card decks headlined by base set Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. Each of the decks will contain new and reprinted cards. The cards will feature a unique hollow foil pattern different from the one in Celebrations. All the cards featuring new numbering for this set. So that's really cool. Of course, we are going to see each deck kind of headline with the 3 Kanto starters, Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard. If you don't know what these cards do for whatever reason, Charizard's ability, whenever you have an energy on it, it can count as a fire, meaning that you can put double colorless energy on Charizard. Blastoise has the Rain Dance ability, and Venusaur allows you to move basic grass energy around as often as you like during your turn. So it's basically what these 3 do, and their own decks will be headlined by them. But the crazy thing is, again, we are getting EX Pokemon. Now, here's the thing with the new EXs. We are getting Lugia EX, Ho-Oh EX, and Suicune EX in the boxes here. But what's crazy about them, they are not going to be legal for tournament play. Except for basic energy cards, the cards in these decks are illegal for tournament play. The product is meant to be a timeless but contained Pokemon TCG gameplay experience for challenging the friends and family. So basically, what this means is Lugia EX, Suicune EX, and Ho-Oh EX, and all these item cards here that are going to be featured in the set, alongside these Kanto starters, are not going to be allowed in tournament play, meaning that we are getting Suicune, Ho-Oh, and Lugia. They're just not going to be allowed to be used in competitive sense. Now, are they any good is going to be the main question. Of course, we are going to read what they do in the set, but it is a really cool thing that Pokemon are releasing. The product is an entirely different release than Pokemon Card 151, which is a set releasing in Japan on June 16th. However, we may get a card 151 as their special set in the fall to coincide with the release of this Pokemon TCG Classic product. The Japanese product will cost 35,000 yen, about $275, which is kind of insane. That's pretty pricey, not going to lie. It will be available via lottery starting in February. No English pricing has been revealed yet. So, Venusaur and Lugia EX. So I guess like the Venusaur set is going to come with the Lugia EX, but there's also going to be Chansey in this set, and like the Oak and the items. So let's see what Lugia EX does. So Lugia EX, again, will not be legal for tournament play. Upward Gust does 30 damage. Search deck for a basic energy attached to this Pokemon, and then Arrow Break does 200 damage and 30 to itself. So kind of a vanilla card regardless. So even if this was allowed to be used in our standard format, this card isn't very good. It doesn't do a lot of damage. As you can see, it only does 200 damage. Not very good. Not very good. But there is, of course, the Sunsea Tool card. The attacks of the Venusaur's cards attached to do 100 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, which is kind of cool. Being able to let your Venusaur do 100 more damage is kind of sweet. Basically, it's like a choice band on steroids. Of course, you put that on the Venusaur here with Solar Beam that does 60, then you're all of a sudden doing 160 more damage. So we'll have to see what kind of that plays into in this deck. Again, I don't think we got the full like deck list revealed or anything. Just kind of some of the cards featured in the deck, including the Professor Oak, which is, Professor's Research. So we'll have to see how that plays into it. But that's really cool. If this was legal in Standard, I don't think there's a Venusaur in Standard right now. There are other Venusaurs. There's the Shiny Legends Venusaur. There's the Dark Explorers Venusaur. No, there is a Venusaur in Standard. I lied. I guess there's 2. There's Radiant Venusaur and the Pogo Venusaur. But this tool probably wouldn't be like that good with them. It's not like they do a whole lot of damage anyways. And they're Stage 2s. And then we got the Charizard and Ho-Oh deck. Makes sense to kind of pair Charizard and Ho-Oh together. It's kind of weird that we didn't get a Grass EX Pokemon with the Venusaur one. We get Lugia. That's kind of weird. I don't know what Grass Pokemon they could have done. I guess they could have went like Virizion EX or Celebi EX or something. But they have the Charizard, of course, base set Charizard, one of the most infamous probably the most infamous Pokemon card of all time. With the ability, all energy on this Pokemon is fire, so you can put DC on it. And again, their damage output is the exact same as they were way back in the day. This card only does 100 damage, which isn't crazy. But of course, we got Ho-Oh EX. Phoenix Breath. Attach up to 2 base energy from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. Doesn't do damage, but does accelerate energy. Honestly, not terrible. If you're able to kind of accelerate energy early, it could be decent. It looks like we do get Computer Search in the set, too. So yeah, this Computer Search item card is going to be in the set. This does do the exact same thing as the A-Spec Computer Search. And then Eternal Blaze is 180, and then during the next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Then we got that Blazing Charcoal, where the attacks of your Charizard do 100 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. You might see a little common trend here with these tool cards and the Kanto starter Pokemon. So yeah, your Charizard's doing 200 damage. Look at that. And you're almost knocking out these EX Pokemon, which is kind of crazy. And then we got the Blastoise Suicune one. I think Suicune is definitely the best card in... I actually think the Blastoise deck might be the best deck, to be honest, which is kind of cool. I think, actually, yeah, the Blastoise deck is probably the best deck. So basically, Blastoise has the ability Rain Dance. As often as you like, during your turn, you may attach a basic water energy from your hand to one of your water Pokemon. So yeah, it has Rain Dance, which is insane. Obviously, Rain Dance is a very, very good ability, and it does work with Suicune EX. And I think Suicune EX is definitely the best one. In my opinion, looking at these 3 decks, I actually think that the Blastoise one is the best one. Of course, Suicune here, Aqua Lift. If this Pokemon has any water energy on it, has a free retreat cost, which is actually pretty good. It means that if you start with Suicune EX, you can just attach water. And then, of course, Crystal Blast for 3 colors does 60 plus 30 more damage for each water energy on it. 60 plus 30 is not bad. Of course, if you have 3 waters on it, you're doing plus 90, so you're doing 150 damage with Suicune here, which is not bad damage output. 150 is pretty good, especially way back in the day when HP was lower. Like Mewtwo having 130 HP, right? You know, Suicune technically can one-hit KO that. And then, of course, we got Ocean Droplet, where the attacks of your Blastoise are going to do 100 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. I will say the Charizard one would have been kind of cool, because there are some decent Charizards in Standard. But overall, this is an interesting little collection that we're getting here. I think the kind of main premise of the deck is going to be the EXs, because, like, I mean, if the EXs are going to be featured within the deck, they're kind of going to be the star of the show. I guess, like, they made these tool cards to kind of offset the EX's HP. Like, again, 220 HP is a lot of HP to have for, like, classic Pokemon. And I think the Blastoise one has to be the best one, right? Because, like, you can just build up a Suicune and just, like, body your opponent. Has to be the best one, right? These new tool cards don't even let, like, I guess maybe Blastoise can take a one. Now, Blastoise can't even take a one at KO either. So I feel like these tool cards, they're not going to do much of anything to KO the EXs. That's interesting. But they do come with cool accessories, of course. The game board offers a premium fabric surface that allows cards to easily slide across, so kind of like playmats, non-stitched edges to avoid cards getting caught when playing. And then we got the black and white color scheme of the game board has been designed to match the toolbox and card sleeves while maintaining a visual focus on cards and tools. We can kind of take a look at some of the stuff here. We see the little playmat here. We also see kind of the box. Got the little playmat design again. And then there you go. That's kind of the outer kind of look of it, like a kind of a bird's eye view look of it. The mat looks kind of cool, and of course you do see the little decks there. And of course we got the cards battling each other out. The damage counters are kind of weird, but you know, there's what it is. Kind of more of that there, damage counters. There's the sleeves and all that good stuff. So pretty cool stuff. The toolbox contains enough gameplay accessories for 2 players to battle, including stackable damage counters, 3-dimensional poison and burn markers, metal orbs that take place of Pokemon coins. Players will need to roll metal orbs down a small chute. If the orb lands in a white bordered hole, it's treated as heads, and it lands in a black bordered hole, it's treated as tails. So that's kind of how, I guess, the coin flip mechanic is going to work. The toolbox includes a set of damage counters featuring yellow 10 damage counters and then orange 50 and 100. In addition to the bright colors, each damage counter prominently displays the damage count on its side. Designed with a conical shape, the damage counters are stackable, so that's kind of cool. They're stackable. Made from aluminum, the damage counters are mildly weighed to prevent falling over when vertically stacked. So it's kind of cool they're making, like, new damage counters for this set. 3-dimensional ring-shaped poison and burn markers. So I don't think these, like, markers and dice type of thing and the damage counters are going to be legal in our format. It's not like we can play it in standard. It'd be kind of cool if we could, though, but I don't think we're going to be allowed to use them in tournament settings. Featuring a Pokeball modified, 3 kinds of card sleeves are included to protect the 3 pre-constructed decks. Of course, it kind of makes sense to bring them in sleeves. And I assume the cards are going to be, like, normal size. So, like, for whatever reason, the sleeves, like, are, like, not good quality, which I assume they are. Like, this is actually pretty expensive. If the sleeves are not, like, the best of quality, you can probably just put them in your own, like, Dragon Shields or something. I assume they're going to be, like, normal size. Card sleeves have been purposely designed in black and white. to maintain a visual focus on the card artwork. 3 deck boxes featuring the grass, fire, water, energy symbols match the pre-constructed deck, so that's kind of cool. And then, of course, you have the trailer. So overall, a really cool new product that we'll be releasing. I'm sure we'll hear more about it as time goes on, but it's cool to see that we are getting EX Pokemon, even though they're not going to be allowed in standard. Though, honestly, the only one that would have been okay is probably Suicune EX, and even then, Suicune EX is kind of mid. So they kind of just made these kind of vanilla EX cards. I still think the Blastoise one is the best, but let me know what you think of this product down below in the comment section. I would love to hear what y'all think of this set. I think it's kind of cool. Again, it is kind of expensive, but I think that it's a really cool thing that they are releasing, and I think it's going to be cool for nostalgia, really cool for people. It also could get people into the game too. That's something you got to consider. Like, people are very they're suckers. They're suckers for nostalgia, and they are suckers for base set. There's a pretty good chance that this product actually helps get people into actually playing the game competitively. Like, you know, your average Pokemon fan will buy this because, oh, base set Charizard's in it, cool beans, you know what I'm saying? They'll want to play it, and then they'll start to play the game, and then they'll realize how fun the game is, gets them into the game. So that's really cool. And I guess it makes sense to have EXs, because if this product gets people into the game, and, you know, they'll be like, oh, let's check out what the game is, and they'll see the standard format, and they'll see that EXs are really good right now. So I guess it makes sense to kind of include EXs on that front. But it's a really cool product. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. What deck do you think is the best one? Again, I think the Blastoise has to be the best one, right? Like, Suicune EX is a pretty solid card. It's better than Ho-Oh and Lugia on a competitive sense. But yeah, let me know what you think of the product down below. Really cool stuff. It's cool that they're releasing this type of product, and I think that it might help get people back into the game. But that'll be it for me on today's video here on the second channel. If you're into the video, leave a like. And again, leave a comment down below what you think, and sub to the channel if you haven't subbed already. And that'll be it for me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.